Recorded Books and One Click Digital present Those Jensen Boys, Rimfire, by William W. Johnstone, with J. A. Johnstone. Narrated by Jack Garrett. Chapter 1. "Let's take a ride on a riverboat, you said," Ace Jensen muttered to his brother as they backed away from the group of angry men stalking toward them across the deck. "It'll be fun, you said." "Well, I didn't count on this," Chance Jensen replied. "How was I to know we'd wind up in such a mess of trouble?" Ace glanced over at Chance as if amazed that his brother could ask such a stupid question. "When do we ever not wind up in trouble?" "Yeah, you got a point there," Chance agreed. "It seems to have a way of finding us." Their backs hit the railing along the edge of the deck. Behind them, the giant wooden blades of the sidewheelers' paddles churned the muddy waters of the Missouri River. They were on the right side of the riverboat, the starboard side, Ace thought, then chided himself for allowing such an irrelevant detail to intrude on his brain at such a moment, and so far out in the middle of the stream that jumping overboard and swimming for shore wasn't practical. Besides, the brothers weren't in the habit of fleeing from trouble. If they started doing that, most likely they would never stop running. The man who was slightly in the forefront of the group confronting them pointed a finger at Chance. "All right, kid, I'll have that watch back now." "I'm not a kid," Chance snapped. "I'm a grown man, and so are you. So you shouldn't have bet the watch if you didn't want to take a chance on losing it." The Jensen brothers were grown men, all right, but not by much. They were in their early 20s, and although they had knocked around the frontier all their lives, had faced all sorts of danger, and burned plenty of powder, there was still a certain innocence about them, for want of a better word. They still made their way through life with enthusiasm and an eagerness to embrace all the joy the world had to offer. They were twins, although that wasn't instantly apparent. They were fraternal rather than identical. Ace was taller, broader through the shoulders, and had black hair instead of his brother's sandy brown. He preferred range clothes, wearing jeans, a buckskin shirt, and a battered old Stetson, while Chance was much more dapper in a brown tweed suit, vest, white shirt, a fancy cravat with an ivory stickpin, and a straw planter's hat. Ace was armed with a Colt .45 Peacemaker with well-worn walnut grips that rode easily in a holster on his right hip. Chance didn't carry a visible gun, but he had a Smith & Wesson .38 caliber double-action second-model revolver in a shoulder holster under his left arm. However, neither young man wanted to start a gunfight on the deck of the Missouri Belle. It was a tranquil summer night, and gunshots and spilled blood would just about ruin it. The leader of the group confronting them was an expensively dressed, middle-aged man with a beefy, well-fed look about him. Still pointing that accusing finger at Chance, he went on. "Leland Stanford himself gave me that watch, in appreciation for my help in getting the Transcontinental Railroad built. You know who Leland Stanford is, don't you? President of the Central Pacific Railroad." "We've heard of him," Ace said. "Rich fella out California way. He used to be governor out there, didn't he?" "That's right. And he's a good friend of mine. I'm a stockholder in the Central Pacific, in fact." "Then likely you can afford to buy yourself another watch," Chance said. The man's already red face flushed even more as it twisted in a snarl. "You mouthy little pup."
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.